So, there's been a lot of noise about hip hop.
I got a hot take too. I'm gonna cut you off, but I got a hot take.
I know your take. I know your take.
Do you?
Yep, I do. I'm prepared for it. There's been a lot of talk about the top 50 greatest rappers, top 10 greatest rappers. We spoke to Fat Joe about it in person. We spoke to Jadakiss about it in person. Everybody has different opinions on this top rapper list.
Yep.
But nobody's ever talking about the top CEO list.
Let's talk about
it. By the way.
And Birdman had actually commented, and then when I saw the comment, I'm like, you know what? He's got a point. Let's make a list.
Let's do it.
So we put together
execution.
Yes, yes.
We wasted no time.
We put together a small council. And we called in some friends.
Trusted advisors.
Got their opinions.
Yep.
And we came up with a list of the top 10 hip hop record label CEOs.
Now the key word is hip hop.
Hip hop
record label
CEOs. And it was highly debatable, and it went viral.
I got it sent to me 90 times.
Yeah. So let's start with the honorable mentions. Honorable mention, DNY from Rough Riders.
Yep.
Jay Prince from Rap A Lot Records. Coach K and P from QC.
Mm-hmm.
Irv Gotti from Murder Inc.
Yeah.
That was the honorable mentions.
Yeah, there were other people that were on the list of honorable mention. I just want to say the names because some people were like, yo, y'all, who y'all? Yes, we spoke about Top Dog. Yes, we spoke about Sylvia Rhone. There was others.
But they didn't make the list.
Let's
just go with
let's start there.
Number 10.
Yes.
Now that's the top 10.
Yes.
Number 10.
Damn, DNY, honorable mention?
Jadakiss thought that they should have been in the top 10. So
for real?
He may have a bias. So that's okay.
Number 10, Mariam Suge Knight, former CEO.
10?
Yeah.
Yes. No, number 10, Suge Knight from Death Row Records. Number 9, Jermaine Dupri, So Def. Number 8, a legend and our friend, Damon Dash, Rockefeller Records.
Mm-hmm.
Number 7, a legend in the game, L.A. Reid.
Yes.
That's low.
Number 6, Percy Miller, better known as Master P.
Mm-hmm.
No Limit Records. Number 5, the godfather of it all, Russell Simmons.
Yep.
Founder of Def Jam Records. Number 4, one of the greatest producers and one of the greatest label heads of all time, Dr. Dre. Number 3, our guy, Jehovah, Jay-Z.
Sean Carter himself.
Number 2, Black Caesar, an inspiration for all of us, an icon in the game and a living legend, Sean Diddy Combs, a.k.a. Love.
Over Jay? Okay.
Bad Boy Records.
Mm-hmm.
And number 1, drum roll please, the greatest hip-hop CEO ever, according to Earn Your Leisure.
According to us.
Baby.
Brian Williams.
Cash Money Records. And shout out to Slim. That's his brother. So he's in the conversation as well.
Yeah.
But Baby, Cash Money Records, greatest hip-hop CEO of all time.
Okay, but before we get to the debate, everyone tuning in on the investment side, I will make a correlation between the CEOs and portfolio managers so you can kind of get a feel for how to invest. Secondly, can you tell them the reason behind making a list?
Yes.
And why it's important for the viral aspect of it? Because I know you've been waiting to do this for a while.
Well,
funny you ask.
If people love lists, I realized, because there's no set answer into right or wrong. It's debatable. People love to be acknowledged. So, Baby posted it within an hour. We posted it on the plane. I landed and everything.
We was in the air. I said, yo,
Baby, got these blogs start posting like Baby. So I'm looking for his comment. I'm like, did he comment on the post? And then I realized he didn't comment. He posted it on his page. And then Cash Money put it in their story. So people love acknowledgement.
Mm-hmm.
People always dislike not being acknowledged. Lists are very debatable. They're very shareable.
Yeah.
I seen Boardroom created their own list.
That did not have Dr. Dre on it.
No.
That's insane.
So the list is a good. It's good. It's a good conversational piece. And before we start dissecting this list, criteria. That was a big thing. What is the criteria? I think there's a few different criteria that go into play. Longevity.
Number one.
Impact.
Okay. Cultural impact too.
Independence is something that's extremely important.
And
that's something that relevancy, star power.
I got so artists that they signed, and had peak performances under their tutelage.
Yes,
and the number of hits.
Yeah. So those are like kind of the 5 criteria behind
this. Those are the fundamentals of what. Okay.
Fundamentals.
Those are the fundamentals.
Gotcha.
So before we justify our list, Ian, what's your take on this list? What's your take on this list?
Are we including Rockefeller and Roc Nation as one company or no?
Well, okay, I'm glad you said that. So some people said, how can you have Dame at number, I believe he was number 8, and Jay-Z at number 3 when they're partners? So Jay-Z's career goes past Rockefeller Records.
This is true.
So as Roc Nation is a management company, but it also has a label division as well. Yeah. And they did sign J. Cole.
Right. So in 2006, Roc Nation becomes a record label.
And they did sign J. Cole.
They signed J. Cole.
And Rihanna.
Well, that's not hip hop.
Oh. Okay.
But they did. Well,
Rihanna's hip hop, but they never signed Rihanna.
She's a Roc Nation artist.
Management.
Artist.
Management.
I'm telling you, artist.
I thought she was an artist. Yeah.
They signed, but they've also signed, well, you got to count Jay's on that label as well, right? So you got to take him into account. Kanye, he was under their tutelage, but you also got to take into account like acts like Rhapsody. You got to take into account to Jay Electronica. These are all Roc Nation artists. So those people were after Rockefeller, where it was Beans, it was Cam, it was that era of hip hop, including himself being on the label.
Okay,
gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, Ian, chime in. Chime in, shall you?
You're missing one important CEO in the lexicon.
Who you got?
You're forgetting Jimmy Iovine.
Again, so, now he said this to me.
So I said this.
I'm gonna give you my response.
I said, all right.
Eminem.
No. Wait. Let's stay there.
So we got a call from a very trusted friend, a text, and he said 2 names. He said Jimmy Iovine and Leor Cohen.
And I looked at you and I said, Jimmy Iovine is a great label CEO. When he wanted to have hip hop, he signed Suge Knight. When he wanted hip hop again, he got Dr. Dre. Right? Like
Jimmy Iovine personally signed Tupac Shakur.
He brought
Interscope. Interscope.
This is true. This is true. But then that wasn't the right place for him. So where did they put him?
That was to mitigate risk. Now
we can say everything. Where did he go? Where did he go?
He was on death row for sure, but he still had 2 more label obligations to Interscope before he was free.
So because I did bring up Jimmy Iovine's name.
Jimmy is missed.
And we had a conversation, but the thing that we came to the consensus is that Jimmy Iovine is the head of Interscope Records, and Interscope Records encompasses everything. It encompasses Latin music. It encompasses rock, R&B, hip hop, every type.
Are we just doing black CEOs?
No.
But wait. So it's saying
criteria.
That's not a hip hop CEO. He's the CEO of a major record label, which covers every single thing. When we're talking about hip hop, this is more specific, narrowed down to one specific genre of music that you only focused on one particular thing. You're not focused on hip hop as part of your portfolio.
Diddy didn't just focus on one genre though. That's where it gets tricky.
Bad Boy Records is a hip hop label.
I agree, but
think about the hip hop acts though. Now, if we talk about longevity and we talk about artists, obviously you have Puff, you have the Lox, right? Originally you had Craig Mack, but then you have Black Rob, you had G-Dep, but even now you still have French Montana, who still puts out hits right now, present day. So the longevity from 94 to now is there. The hits are there. We can't deny. He had a diamond record 4 years ago. These things are happening. Hip hop, just hip hop.
Who was diamond 4 years ago?
French Montana.
Single.
A single.
He
had a diamond record, I said. No, he had a diamond record.
Okay,
No, he had a diamond record.
Got you.
The joint with Sway Lee.
Yeah.
Got you. Okay.
Diamond record. That's a fact.
Okay. Okay, so for me, Jimmy, no. I'm gonna be real. Jimmy Iovine is Ray Dalio.
Yes.
Okay. We're not denying. No, he's great. He's great.
Signed Dre, signed Tupac individually, signed Snoop individually. Yes, he extended, but also like I'm not. I know Dame will call you, but why the kid going crazy for the vulture? We can't leave Lee Orr off of there either.
Well, they encompass a couple of things, right? So if we say Def Jam, it really is Rick Rubin,
yes,
it's Russ, and it's Leo.
Yes,
it would be those three, right? So when we say Russ, it's kind of like Rick Rubin's in there.
Leo Cohen was running Def Jam
after.
Gotcha.
After it was built,
but he was there with them.
He inherited. A successful team.
Yeah.
He didn't build the successful team. He inherited.
Which goes back to my Jimmy. If I told you this person signed Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Tupac before Death Row, 50 Cent, and Eminem.
No, Jimmy Iovine, you could make an argument for Jimmy Iovine. You can. It's just I don't think that Jimmy Iovine.
He got to be in the top 3.
Solely focused on hip hop. Well, here's my thing with Jimmy. I said if you put him in, you got to put him at number 1. Or don't put him on either number 1 or don't put him on the list at all. Because anything other than that is kind of just doesn't make sense. So if you're going to put him on the list, he got to be number 1. Or
then you'd have to remove L.A. Reid.
And here's the reason why we said Baby from Cash Money was number 1. So Baby doesn't get enough credit. He has one of the best deals ever negotiated, ever. Almost a 90-10 split where Universal got that $100 million deal and then came back and got another $100 million. When you think of Baby, you think of the Hot Boys that came out in 98, I believe.
Juvenile was first, though. Juvenile was on fire.
Yeah, Juvenile 98.
98. Yep. Juvenile, 98, right? Till when Lil Wayne took the game over in 2000s to Drake, to Nicki. People say like Drake and Nicki's Young Money. Young Money is Cash Money. That's Cash Money. Yeah. So you got almost a 30-year run of dominance. That's unprecedented. Never been done.
That's like Buffett-ish.
It's never been done.
LeBron James.
And if you look at any statistic as far as top 100 hits, if you look at the artists who were in there, all 3 of them in the top 5. All 3 of them, like Nicki, Wayne, and Drake in the top, or at least the top 10 for most hits charted on top 100 on Billboard. All 3 of them on there. It's not even close. That we're going. Baby's number 1.
So Baby is Buffett. Jimmy. Oh. Okay.
And Diddy, I think, doesn't get enough credit for having the most cultural impact. Bad Boy Records at their peak, there was nothing stronger.
I forgot Mix. I didn't even say Mix.
Bad Boy.
When that Betha.
Not my fault.
That Baby logo that they had, like when Bad Boy was running at his peak, it was nothing that could stop it. It was unstoppable. And
I came into this game wanting more money than Puff. That's Jay's line.
And then the tour. Yeah, and Puff set so many precedents. He set so many precedents, and he's laid the blueprint for so many other people to follow. Mm-hmm. And he survived the times as well. So Diddy, I feel like is he's rare air. I don't feel anybody has had as much impact on our culture, just from a musical standpoint, than Diddy.
Brother love.
Because even Jay, at a certain point, they follow Diddy's blueprint.
Exactly.
Everybody has followed Diddy's blueprint.
Yeah, and if we're talking about hip hop and R&B, then you're talking about you got to start with Jodeci, Mary J, and then obviously Carl Thomas, Faith. It's just I said if we wanted to, but we're not going to. But if we wanted to, we could. So I think Puff definitely top. He's number 2.
Yeah, number 2. I would compare Puff to Julian Robertson from Tiger Global Management for the investors who are still here chimed in.
Yeah, and for the young bucks who are asking why L.A. Reid,
Usher.
Well, not even Usher. Let's start.
He signed Future.
Well, let's start with Outkast.
Outkast.
First and foremost, let's start with Outkast. We're not even gonna count LaFace Records as far as the R&B label, but signing Outkast and then Goody Mob as well. But then going later into the early 2000s with getting Future being the exact when they Def Jam gets Rick Ross. Gets Young Jeezy, being an Epic when they get 21 Savage, Travis Scott, like Atlantic Travis Scott. Like
the only thing about L.A. Reid,
it's a lot.
Out of everybody else in that list, he has a great resume. He never started anything. He also
started LaFace.
started LaFace.
Don't do
He
that.
did start LaFace.
Don't do that.
But other than that,
Mike, clip that out.
Don't do that.
other than that,
That's
One of the
pretty
greatest
big, bro.
songwriters of all time.
Yeah, nah. That's a big one.
right.
Pause.
It was.
Yeah.
But he also was running labels that was already established.
That is true. He became the president and CEO of some labels, but he definitely started LaFace with Babyface. That's a fact. Now, shout out to my brother Sticks.
LaFace is like Tim Cook.
LaFace is.
Excuse me. L.A. Reid's like Tim Cook. Like, wasn't the strongest founder per se, even though LaFace was a hit, but amazing operator. Like,
sign some legends, bro. Sign legends.
Yo Gotti. A lot of people have they said he's up.
Yo Gotti
should be on the list.
The only thing is the longevity.
He's coming up. He has a great right now today.
He's hot.
Track record phenomenal, yo.
Yeah.
No, he's hot right now. He's definitely hot as a CEO. He's hot.
And the last person came down to DNY or
that's crazy. They're not on the list, yo.
TD. It was TD.
It was TD. It was Top Dog.
Top Dog.
Top Dog was on the list, and then we had to take Top Dog off the list.
And it's no disrespect to Top Dog, but if we're talking just hip hop, now we have to take the SZA catalog out.
Well, now leave the SZA catalog in. Top Dog's a legend. He's a legend. But
Kendrick,
what we said was Kendrick Lamar,
Kendrick
Lamar, and SZA, right? That's their.
Then we got to put Rihanna back.
J-Rock,
Absol, Schoolboy Q. Yes.
Yeah, but when you look at Rough Riders, you got DMX, you got the Locks, you got Eve, and you got Swiss Beats.
And Dragon. Let's not play. Dragon has some hits.
I'm just saying, like the 18.
Yeah.
Starting, like, so it's like when you have Swiss Beats, the Locks, Eve, and DMX.
How was he not there? I was mad.
He could have been, but I don't know who you take out. The other part, and a lot of people like, Irv should have been in top 10. Irv should have been in the top 10. Shout out to Irv, EYL alum, friend of the show, friend of the fan. If we're talking just hip hop, that's what I say. If we're just talking hip hop, how many hip hop albums do you think Murder Inc. put out? Artists. How many?
I think 5.
Hip hop artists.
Oh, hip hop artists.
R&B is hip hop.
I'm just saying. Well, let's just take hip hop.
They have Ashanti and they have Ja Rule.
Anybody else?
The Murderers.
No, they don't have anybody else. But they have a lot of songwriting
and Lloyd
and produce Lloyd.
Lloyd.
Yeah,
Lloyd. But they had a lot of songwriting and a lot of producing. And he did. Influential. He brought DMX to Def Jam.
He did. But
he got Rockefeller a situation.
He was part of that. With that's not him as a CEO.
No, it's not.
That's not. That's him as an A&R. But him
it was the CEO's mind though.
And then we gotta look at that, right? So if we're just talking hip hop, if I'm just thinking hip hop, it would just be Ja Rule. That's the only hip hop act that they had. Yes, Ashanti was there. Yes, Lloyd was there. But we gotta talk about longevity, right? Ja's first album was 99. The last album came out in 2008. That's a 9-year span. It is now 2023. They have not put out a record. Obviously, we saw what happened with 50, and we saw what happened with the federal.
I was gonna say the Fed
investigating them. That obviously took. So the longevity is not there. So that's why I felt like we got to move back just like. But
then also, before we wrap, Marcus had actually made he said that Coach K and P should be number one. And I said, that's interesting. Why would you say that? And he said, it's either number one or number two. And he said 4, that they're the only ones that got out at the top. He said, nobody else has ever done that. He said, everybody else rolled the ship up and rolled the ship back down.
Except
Jimmy Iovine.
No.
Or except Birdman.
Except Brian Williams.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. But other than that, the ship has gone up and the ship has come back
down.
There
would be no beats without Jimmy.
No. Jimmy's a legend.
No, we're not denying him.
It's just a matter of whether he's solely hip-hop or not. But if you want to consider, he definitely has a right. Jimmy, I don't think anybody you can't dispute Jimmy Iovine's influence.
At all.
You can't. But also Jimmy Iovine never did it himself. Suge Knight was the person that ran Death Row Records. Dr. Dre was the person that ran Aftermath Records. Like, you know what I mean? So we also got general manager, but he never coached a team. He never coached a team.
Well, I can say, I love Suge, love Pac. Shout out to Mutai. Suge also ran that into the ground. We got to talk about risk mitigation.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Up and down.
Longevity's a criteria.
But mostly everybody on the list had the up and down, right? If you're honest.
I don't think any hip hop label had a more preventable situation than Suge Knight. You lost your big. Pac shouldn't have been nowhere near around Orlando. Like, I'm not gonna get an LA business, but he shouldn't have been nowhere around any of that.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Suge was doing a bunch of unnecessary stuff, but
Stuff
that was also part of the allure
It's
of
part of it.
of Death Row.
Yeah.
But yeah, QC. So he got an interesting take where he said that they got in, they got hot, and they got out the game. And he said nobody else has ever done that.
What Dr. Dre sell beats to Apple for? We're just gonna talk math because I'm a numbers guy.
1.3 billion.
Flawless victory.
No, that's outside. That's a different product.
Yeah, that's not music.
That's not Aftermath Records. That's a spinoff. That's a different product altogether. That's like saying Diddy, or that's like saying Jay-Z just sold his liquor company and made $1 billion, or Diddy has Revolt and became a billionaire off of.
When the wire cleared, nobody asked.
But no, I'm just saying a lot of, and that's another thing why Baby probably not the best CEO when it comes to all of that, because his main focus has always been music. Diddy got Revolt, he got Ciroc, he got DeLeon,
Maybe
Jay-Z got the Spirits, he got Rock Nation, he got the everything. He got everything, right? Like Dre got the headphones. So Baby really just focused on music. That's why it was just hip hop record label CEO.
Yeah. But I'm not caping for Jimmy, but Jimmy did co-found Interscope. It wasn't given to him.
Yo, we're not knocking him, bro.
You are definitely advocating for Jimmy Iovine, but I appreciate it.
That's like if the source say that you didn't co-found EYL, like, yo, you just work with it. You like, what the fuck? What? He co-founded Interscope.
Who's Interscope under?
It was a partner with Geffen. That was his label.
Well, it's under. Was it Sony?
Now if we're gonna do this, everybody under somebody.
Exactly.
If we're gonna do that, we gotta say Doug Morris and Lucian run everything.
No, that's a fact.
Doug cut every check, and Corey tried to. Hey, it's a financier. The person who cut the check mattered the most. now, if we want to talk, hey, now, who pay for our shows?
Now, you're an all-star. Hey, now you're an all-star.
Check writer, your royalty receiver. You eating on per diem on a like a Caesar.
Well, that's why I said once again. That's why Brian Williams got to get a lot of credit.
Yeah,
he went to the office with tattoos on his face and a Louisiana accent and lug boots and got them folks to give him a 90-10 split.
Yeah, bro.
With $100 million.
He's already cooking too. Like,
with gold teeth in his mouth.
That's what I'm saying. Like Jimmy, if he's the head of Interscope, like go to their artist section, right? Like they have an alpha. Like you gotta go A through Z. There's just too many artists. It's just not a hip hop label.
Start in '93, and what was they at?
There's a hip hop imprint underneath it. That's a fact. But they're not a hip hop label.
Start in '93. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean,
he got to be in the top 4. If I got a 2 Tech 2 index. Boy, Jimmy going in there. Jimmy, Baby, Puff, Hove.
They got Most Def on the lineup. Moneybagg Yo is under Interscope.
What are we talking about?
CMG Interscope.
CMG.
Yeah.
At one point, Puff was that Interscope.
Yeah.
Don't leave while you're hot. That's how Mace screwed up.
Distribution. No, distribution.
Yeah.
That's different though. It's different.
Boy, he got the world on lock. Now, I also can make a claim for the biggest vulture too.
Wait for our next list.
Let me put in. I got 7 names for you.
Just wait for our next
and there's 3
list,
black ones on there. I don't want to be spicy tonight, but there's some black vultures we got to put on there too.
We're gonna add you to the council.
The vultures and villains list.
Shout out to Adam 22. How you let Joe destroy your whole career in one interview? Hey, buddy, tell me about the time. Hey, we gonna have a talk about the music and the predatory stuff that be going on in the music one day too.
And then my dad reminded me, give a shout out to Vernon Brown. Once again, I always talk about the people that's behind the scenes. Vernon Brown is the black lawyer that negotiated all those deals for Cash Money. He's the long-time lawyer and business manager for Baby and Cash Money.
He did P's deal too, right, Master B?
I'm not sure if he did P's deal, but I know he did a lot of people in the music business deal. But he's one of these guys that you might not have heard of behind the scenes. But yeah, he's the one that negotiated those deals. Please. So yes, it wasn't like Baby was actually negotiating his deal. But You still have to have some level of
Smart people,
intelligence.
smart people hire smart people.
Exactly.
And this is a great point of leverage. If you don't come in with cash, you cannot set any rules in negotiation.
That's true.
Cash and
flush.
Cash money.
Cash and talent.
Cash money.
I got the talent.
Cash money.
Yeah.
All right.
Brian Williams, y'all number one.
It's been real, ladies.
Unprecedented run.
It's been real. Shout out to Diddy.
To be
Shout
continued.
out to Jay. Shout out to everybody on the list, because all those people were motivation to us. And you, as your business is growing, this isn't just a random conversation. You can draw inspiration, blueprints, motivation from different people in different sectors. And when we talk about like branding, like when we interviewed Black Sam, and JP said that the marathon logo came from Life magazine. That's a perfect example, right? Who would have thought that Life magazine would be an inspiration for the marathon logo? But it was. So it's like, you got to learn as much about different people as possible. Read as much, watch documentaries, because the more you learn, the more inspiration that you gain. Like, I think Triumph is one of the best rap videos of all time. And I watched it. I watched that video just for inspiration purposes, like motivation, like, you know what I mean? Like, I just draw inspiration from a variety of different places. So yes, learn from the greats in all fields. Because it could help you.
These executives are essentially hedge fund managers. Like, all these labels are selling the catalog now. You think that's being done by accident and selling it at the top of the market. Like, so there's a reason why we bring up this list. But Rashad, these segues are amazing.
And shout out to Al Heyman too, because somebody put Al Heyman. Heyman, he's another one. You got to study his blueprint. He was a guy that was doing music promotion and became the biggest boxer promoter in the world, and nobody even knows what he looks like.
Shout out to Jay Prince though.
Jay Prince was also a boxing promoter.
You know who he promoted? A guy named Floyd Mayweather.
He did.
Big facts. And Aubrey.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Yes,
that's a fact.
Somebody said
that.
Jason, I want to let you know, as a New York City guy, I did bring up Fat Joe. Fat Joe gave us Big Pun. Obviously, he gave himself Remy Ma. He introduced the world to Cool and Dre. He also introduced the world to DJ Khaled. Very important person. But he was on the honorable mention. I don't
think that was under his label.
I'm just saying he brought his cultural influence.
Khaled was on Terror Squad though, right?
He was.
No, Big Pun was.
No, Khaled was there.
No, Khaled was too.
Started his career. And then he was on Cash Money.
Officially signed.
Yeah, they went to Cash Money. Yeah, we know that went.
Now this is a good lesson if we want to get to the vulture lesson.
But cultural influence though, we gotta say.
You gotta start signing these acts in perpetuity, yo. Like, could you imagine having Khaled and then not getting the royalty off the back end? Oh, baby.
My brother Khaled. Let's go golfing.
Let's go golfing.
My graduates from my school being Forbes, bag drop.
Bag drop.
A mic drop, bag drop.
Bag drop.